Only 2.5% of Americans ever cross $1 million in savings, and here is the part that should genuinely bother you. Has almost nothing to do with how much they earn. I am going to show you to people today earning the exact same paycheck, living in the exact same city. 20 years from now, one of them retires with over $1 million, the other one retires with less than 60,000. Same income, same years. A gap that size is not an accident, it is a formula, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Meet Alex, 25 years old, working as an electrician in Columbus, Ohio. He makes $60,000 to $1,000 a year, which, whether you realize it or not, makes him almost exactly the median American worker. Quick correction before we go further, because this trips almost everyone up. When you Google the average American salary, you will see numbers like $66,000 or $70,000. That is the mean. Every billionaire income dumped into the same bucket as everyone else and divided out. It is a fantasy number. The median, the actual person standing in the middle of the pack, half above him, half below, sits right around $60,000 to $1,000. That is Alex. That is probably closer to you than you think. No. Picture two versions of Alex. Next 20 years. In version 1, he does what feels normal. He upgrades his apartment. When he gets a raise, he orders DoorDash a few times a week because he is tired after work. He carries a small credit card balance because everyone does nothing reckless, just comfortable. In version 2, Alex learns for specific mechanics of money, not tricks, not hacks, just how the machine actually works. He applies them quietly, automatically for 2 decades. By 65 version 1 of Alex has less than $60,000 to his name. Version 2 has crossed well past $1 million. Same trade, same tools, same paycheck his entire life. The only difference is what he understood here is exactly what he understood. Pillar 1 is protect the gap. Here is the number that actually determines your future, not your salary. The gap, the distance between what you earn and what you actually keep. If Alex makes $60,000 to $1,000 and spends $60,000 to $1,000, his gap is 0. It does not matter how hard he worked for that paycheck. 0 times anything is still 0. And here is the uncomfortable part. The gap rarely dies from one big mistake. Nobody destroys their financial future by buying one boat. It dies from small invisible leaks. 3 DoorDash orders a week, a credit card balance quietly accruing 20% interest, an apartment upgrade that felt like nothing, just $200 extra a month, until you add up what that $200 could have become. Let me give you a story that will change how you think about this. I know an executive out in Silicon Valley makes over $700,000 a year. At a dinner party, he admitted something wild to me. He is basically living paycheck to paycheck. Massive mortgage, private school tuition for 2 kids, 3 luxury cars on lease. His lifestyle grew exactly as fast as his income did so, despite earning more in 1 month than Alex earns all year. He is building almost no real wealth. This is the rule. Almost nobody teaches you your savings rate matters more than your income. Alex, keeping his lifestyle modest and saving 10 to 15% of $60,000 to $1,000, is quietly outbuilding a man making 12 times what he does. So here is your homework from this pillar. Track 90 days of spending against your income and find your actual gap, the real number, not the one you assume. Then go hunting for the small leaks. Grocery store apps, a phone call to negotiate your internet bill down, cutting convenience spending. You do not even notice anymore. Protecting that gap is step 1. But once the gap exists, what do you actually do with it? Asterisk. Pillar 2 is invest aggressively and consistently. Here is the good news. How consistently you invest matters far more than what specific stock you pick. Let us run Alex real numbers. He saves 10% of his income, that is $500 a month, $6,000 a year. He puts it into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, earning a historical 8% average return. Start at 25. By 65, Alex crosses $1.55 million. Same amount of money, same discipline, just start 10 years later at 35. And his number collapses to $680,000. The 10-year delay did not cost him a little, it cost him over $870,000. See, you are watching this at 40 or older. Do not check out this part. Matters even more for you. The median 45-year-old American already has around $87,000 saved. Push that with an aggressive $1,000 a month, and you can still cross $1.2 million by 67, starting from literally 0 at 45. A grinding $1,000 a month still gets you close to $900,000 by 70. It is never too late. It just requires more fuel instead of more time. Here is the actionable part. Open a tax-advantaged Retirement account or Roth IRA is a phenomenal starting point for most Americans. Pick a broad low-cost index fund, then automate the transfer the day after payday. If your investing depends on remembering or feeling motivated that month, you have already lost the game before it started. Here is the real test, though. Every time Alex gets a raise, he faces an invisible fork in the road. Upgrade his life or upgrade his investments, push his savings rate from 10 to 15%, and his number jumps to 2 point per million, push it to 20%, and it is 3 point to million. Keep the lifestyle flat. Let the raises fund your freedom instead of your rent. So Alex is protecting his gap. He is investing consistently. But there is a force working underneath all of this that is far more powerful than either of those, and almost nobody explains it correctly. Pillar 3 is time. Time is the one asset nobody can buy more of, but in investing it is the biggest multiplier that exists. Because compounding gains are heavily back-loaded, they arrive late, very late. Follow Alex $500 a month journey. Years 1 through 20 feel almost pointless. His money is growing technically, but it has not hit escape velocity. By year 20 he is sitting at $283,000 solid, but nothing that makes headlines. Then look at year 30, $718,000, and just for years after that, year 34 he crosses $1.01 million. Sit with that for a second. Alex made more money in those final 4 years than he did in the entire first 20 years combined. That is not a fluke. That is the actual shape of compounding, a curve that looks like it is failing right up until the moment. It is not. Warren Buffett was worth roughly $3 billion on his 60th birthday today. He is worth over $140 billion. More than 99% of his entire fortune was built after age 50. He was not a bad investor before that. He was excellent his whole career. His real secret weapon was staying in the market for 3/4 of a century and never walking away. Here is what destroys this entire mechanism. Panic. Miss just the 10 best performing days in the market over 20 years and your total returns get cut by more than half. Miss the best 20 or 30 days and you lose 74 to 84% of your gains, and those best days almost always land during the scariest moments deep in a bear market or in the first weeks of a new recovery. The person who sells to feel safe is mathematically guaranteed to miss the exact days that would have rebuilt everything. So when the market turns ugly, and it will, the correct move is to do nothing. Turn off the news, leave the automation running, let time finish the job it is already doing. There is one more leak left, and it is the one Wall Street hopes you never notice. Pillar 4 is stop the leaks and grab the free money. A 1% fee sounds small. It is not. Over 20 years, a 1% annual fee shaves nearly $30,000 off a $100,000 portfolio compared to a low-cost fund. Over Alex's full 40-year career, that same 1% quietly strips more than $350,000 straight out of his retirement. A standard S&P 500 index fund costs around 0.05% a year. Some managed funds and insurance wrapped products charge 20 times that or more. If all you need is someone to buy an index fund and hold it, you do not need to hand over a slice of your wealth every single year to get that. Donate. Here is the flip side. Money that is sitting there for free unclaimed. Over 60% of employer retirement plans in America offer some kind of matching contribution. If Alex's employer matches 100% up to 6% of his salary, that is an extra $3,720 dropped into his account every year for doing absolutely nothing except contributing enough to qualify. Since Alex already saves 10%, he clears that threshold automatically and captures every dollar of it. One more if you have access to it. A health savings account. Triple tax advantage. Contributions are deductible. Growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for medical costs are tax-free too. Is one of the most underused tools in the entire tax code. Put all 4 pillars together, and here is the sentence I want you to actually remember. I never once told Alex he needed to earn 6 figures. He never does. He retires a multi-millionaire on an electrician's salary purely because of behavior consistency and patience applied for 20 straight years. If you live somewhere with a brutal cost of living, New York, San Francisco, wherever, I will not pretend this is effortless. Your first fight is not the investing part. It is creating the gap itself through tighter tracking or extra income on the side. But once that gap exists, the question stops being if you will hit 7 figures. It becomes how many millions you are aiming for. This video is for education, not personalized financial advice. Everyone tax situation and risk tolerance is different, so talk specifics through with a licensed advisor before making big moves. If this reframed how you think about your own paycheck, that is exactly what this channel exists for. Subscribe if you want the next breakdown, because next time I am walking through the exact order Alex should follow with every single dollar starting from his very first paycheck.